I don't have anything funny or a quick quip to open with this one. I was gonna say that is a great series win for the Seattle Mariners. Ladies and gentlemen, this team is playing some pretty darn good baseball right now. What is up? What is going on, everybody? Welcome back and welcome into the Seattle Mariners post-game recap. The Mariners win the series over the Blue Jays, and they defeat the Blue Jays today, 8-3. They're now 12-10 on the young season. They're the only team in the AL West with a positive run differential. So things looking up for our Seattle Mariners. As always, before I go any further, do me a favor, hit that like button. Thank you again, everybody. Truly appreciate it. Comment your thoughts on the team below, and don't forget to hit subscribe. I am 28 subs away from 4,500. Like 15 new subs yesterday. Thank you all so much. It blows me away that 50 people want to subscribe and hear what I have to say, but the fact that that many are subscribed truly means a lot to me. So see if we can get to 4,500 and celebrate this Easter victory. Happy Easter to everybody as well. But I mean, the team just feels good. It's fun to put on Mariners baseball right now. I am looking forward to it. I'm not going to lie. The first week when they were 4-8, 4-7, 3-7, I told you guys I'm not giving up on a season 10 games in. That would be ridiculous. But there were some, Mariners are on. Click. All right, let's watch it. Now I'm like, oh man, what time the Mariners game on? When Mariners on at 4? Great. I got to get home. I got to get out to work early so I get home and watch the game. But the vibes are good. Everything's clicking right now. And I don't even think you're getting the best out of these starting pitchers right now. I think there's still some stuff left in the tank. I thought Castillo battled today. Certainly not anywhere near his best, but he battled through 5 innings. Logan only went 4 2/3 yesterday. Wu did go 7 on Friday, but I didn't think he was at his sharpest. I don't think we've seen Bryce Miller at his best yet. That 5th spot's been kind of a mess with Hancock and the Pebble. Who else am I missing? I think that's everybody, right? Logan, Castillo, Wu, Miller. Yeah. So, I mean, I think Wu's maybe been the best, and Logan, they've been good, right? The Mariners aren't getting poor starting pitching. But they're not getting that elite starting pitching they've gotten. But I do believe this rotation is still elite. So I'm not worried about it going forward. And hopefully George Kirby, we'll be back here soon too. It's something I feel like I'm going to say every day until he is back. But you should be getting a very good reinforcement in the starting rotation soon. What's really been carrying the Mariners is, folks, this has been a good offense. The Seattle Mariners offense is good. Now, when they were 8 games into the season or 10 games, they were 3-7. What did I say? Hey, breathe. It's 10 games. No season is made off of 10 games. The same is true for 22 games. No season is made off 22 games. So I'm not going to go around telling everybody, oh, the Mariners offense is elite. Look at this offensive unit. They are going to have peaks and valleys. They're not going to swing as well at T-Mobile. It is a pitcher's park. It's probably going to come down a little bit. But coming into today, I think they were 8th in baseball, WRC plus 112, 113 in that range. They score 8 more runs today. They scored 8 yesterday. Even on Friday when they scored 1, I thought they had some okay at-bats. Like a lot of the base running errors and blunders there, but it didn't seem like your typical one-run Mariners game. So it has been super encouraging, and it's fun to watch when this team is hitting. And yes, again, like I said, the 10 games shouldn't overreact to 10 games where it's tough. Can't overreact. They're 8-2 in their last 10. We shouldn't overreact to that either and just claim this team has arrived and the AL West is over by any means. In fact, Mariners aren't even first place in the AL West right now. But I do think this can be a good offense. I've talked about it before, that it's just about finding the consistency and not falling into those ruts. And they seem to be doing that a little bit more. There are some really good hitters on this team that can produce. And there's some guys overproducing right now, but there's also some still underproducing. I don't know how many outlier performances you're really getting in this offense that would go, oh my gosh, this isn't sustainable. Maybe Dylan Moore, right? Probably not going to OPS 967. But Julio's sitting there at a 6, and OPS isn't the end all be all either. It's just kind of a stat we can look at quickly that gives a nice overall picture of what the hitter's doing. Julio's at 675. It feels better for Julio in April because we've seen some rough Aprils from him. But at the very worst, he's probably going to be 740, 750 in that range at the very worst. He is, again, we know he's going to have a streak where he's just not going to make it out. So yeah, Dylan Moore might come down a little bit. Julio should come back up a little bit. Cal 926, that may be a little high as well, but I mean, Cal's a great player. Randy's at 779. That seems about right. Garver's 547. I think that can come up a little bit. Solano 197. Even as hot as Rowdy Tellez has been, he's still sitting at a 648 OPS. It's not like he's just gone gangbusters either. He's just in a little bit of a hot streak here, which he is capable of doing. And you're seeing, what he can do when he does get dialed in. He can get long ball happy and help carry an offense. And it's kind of what he did in this series. So, Luke Raley, 635 should be better. Ben Williamson, 641, I think is fine. I would probably take that from him with his defense. And, Rivas is also in the lineup. He's in the 600. So is JP. So it's not like you've got, I remember 2 years ago, and I'm not taking away from their success, but the Rangers into like June or something were OPSing like 1,000 with runners in scoring position, something that just wasn't sustainable. Now, hey, that team won the World Series, so who am I to say what's sustainable and what's not? But, there's nothing I see from this Mariners offense outside of maybe Dylan and Cal coming down just a titch, but I think there's enough guys that'll come up behind them. Again, like they play at T-Mobile, they're not going to score 8 runs a game, obviously. But this offense can produce on the road, and I think they can do enough at home. And we start getting a little bit better performance out of the starters, which I think we will. Listen, I don't know what this team is going to end up as, but you see it. You can see the vision. You can see where someone would say, I like this Mariners team. I think they can win the division. Yesterday or 2 days ago, Pacoda's projection came out for the rest of the season. Mariners are projected to have the best record in the AL. Do I think they will? I don't know, but is it that crazy? Maybe I'm hopping in the optimism here, but I'm a fan, so I'm going to fan at times. I'll have plenty of time for sorrow if they lose 6 in a row at some point in July, right? Like, it'll probably happen at some point, but they're one of 4 teams in the AL with a positive run differential. The AL is not as strong as it used to be. Even the Yankees, you look at their lineup and it's scored a lot of runs this year, but they've got some holes at the bottom that if you're an opposing pitcher, you could get through. The AL West is completely vulnerable, right? Like Texas has played some good ball, but played a lot of 1-run games and come on the positive end of it. Houston's always dangerous. I won't count them out, but they don't quite look like the Astros that they've been. The Angels and A's can be feisty, but they're not great teams. The Central's kind of a lot of mid too, right? Like, Cleveland's a good team, but they're gettable. Minnesota's off to a really rough start. So is Kansas City. Detroit's a good ball club, but again, I think they're gettable. And in the East, right? Like I like Baltimore's lineup, but their pitching is a question mark. Tampa Bay is always feisty, but they're maybe more 500. Boston's got flaws, and so do the Yankees. Like, and again, like this is looking at it from an optimistic standpoint. You could turn around and say the Mariners have flaws. You'd be absolutely correct. They do. But is it that absurd that this team can compete in the AL? I don't think it is. And if you're getting this type of offense and you're not even getting this pitching at the best, I do think there's reason for a lot of hope. I really do. And, they're 12-10. They're not 20-2 right now or anything like that. But it's fun when they're playing good baseball. And you do start believing in these things. And, maybe I'll be wrong. Maybe this team will, be 30-40 in a couple months. And then, so be it. But right now, I'm seeing good things and I'm a fan. So, of course, I'm going to be more positive about it. I could give you reasons to be pessimistic. There's still some. But, we're fans for a reason. So it's exciting to see the team play good baseball. Sorry, I've got a little cold coming on apparently, or allergies or something. But, I don't know. It's been fun. It's just been fun to watch. So let's get in the box score of today's game. Luis M. Castillo. Well, I guess the only Luis Castillo on the roster right now. Goes 5 innings, 10 hits, 3 runs, 3 earned, 2 walks, and 5 strikeouts. A lot of hard contact. There was some, soft contact that got through against Castillo, but that's always going to happen to pitchers. But there was a lot of hard contact. I did not think Castillo was great. I will always give pitchers credit, though, when they battle when they don't have their best stuff. I didn't think Castillo had it, but he found a way to go 5 innings. He went deeper than Logan did yesterday. I'm not dissing Logan for that, but found a way to get through the 5 innings, especially after the first 3. Thought he really held strong in the 4th and 5th inning. got the team through it, and got a W. Now, do I expect better from Luis Castillo? 100%. Just as I expect better from Logan Gilbert yesterday. But you're not always going to have your best stuff. And Castillo battled through it. The team had given him a 6-0 lead, and he held it, right? He didn't have to be perfect today. It wasn't a 0-0 game into the seventh. I would have liked a little bit less traffic in those first 3 innings. Don't get me wrong. I was sitting there sweating it going, oh my gosh, we're going to blow a 6-0 lead. We're going to blow this. We're Mariners fans. That's our natural go-to. But he settled in and did fine. A lot of hits, again, I'm not going to put this one in the Luis Castillo Hall of Fame, start, but did enough, right? He pitched well enough. I'm looking forward to Stars going a little bit deeper into the games. Would like to see some 6-7 inning starts here. That is a couple in a row where Castillo has not been on his best, and away from T-Mobile as well. I think these were his first 2 road starts of the season. So going back to T-Mobile for his next start, I think it'll be against Miami. So I expect a 6-7 inning, start there potentially from Luis. But again, stuff-wise and overall numbers, 10 hits is a lot, right? That's 2 base runners inning. That's not great. But he did battle and got through them and helped get the team a W. So, kudos to Castillo for doing that. Colin Snyder with a solid 6th inning. No runs, no hits, no walks, no strikeouts. Good to see Snyder kind of back in one of those leverage roles. Did a great job for him last year. And I'm repeating myself talking about this stuff, but I think Snyder's a guy you can trust. He throws strikes. Yeah, he's not going to blow you away at 99, but he just kind of gets the job done. So glad that Colin Snyder's kind of gone back up the pecking order. It seems he's not being used as a mop-up reliever this year anymore. Gabe Spire with a solid inning. Did have a walk, but bounced back with 2 strikeouts. He started out with a hit by pitch on Jimenez. Then he walked Springer. I was a little worried because Spire wasn't great his last time out in Cincinnati, but then came back and got a couple outs. I think actually had one that would have been a double play ball, but he got his glove on it and it slowed it down. Then Debo couldn't turn 2 on it and just got the 1 out. Velocity was back up. Looked like he was 95, 96, where he was a little lower his last time out. And the hit by pitch to Jimenez, it wasn't like a pitch that was, oh my gosh, that got away from him and drilled him. Kind of hit him, I think, just grazed him on the elbow there. I mean, it would have been a ball inside, but it wasn't like an, oh my gosh, how could you have a pitch like that? And the Springer walk, while not good because he got ahead and then threw 3 pitches that weren't close, it wasn't just a 4-pitch walk of just, 4 pitches, boom, garbage all over the place. Got ahead and just lost command of the fastball a little bit. And actually his final strikeout, I don't remember who he got. It was the catcher, right? It was Heineman, I think that's how you say it. And he was up to 97. So good outing from Spire. Trenton Thornton does his job in the 8th, does give up a hit and a walk. But at that point, it's 8-3. So I don't really judge pitchers too much when they're pitching with 5, 6, 7 run leads, because your goal is to throw strikes and just get 3 outs and move on, right? So, I'm not going to criticize that Thornton walked a guy. And I think the hit was kind of a bloop too, if I'm not mistaken. And then Legumina finishes it up with a clean 9th inning, a nice catch by Rowdy Tellez, who definitely deserved it to end that game. So, like I said, then listen, the Blue Jays deserve credit too. Their offense was feisty this series, man. They did not have a lot of 1, 2, 3 innings. If I remember correctly, they were putting pressure on each inning, and they hit a lot of balls hard today. The double that Vlad had off Castillo, I didn't think it was a terrible pitch. Vlad's just a great hitter, and he hit it. Sometimes that does happen too. And, we can talk about the pitchers maybe weren't at their best this series, the starters. Well, Logan actually looked pretty good yesterday, just couldn't get very deep. Wu started off giving a lot of hard contact and kind of settled in. And Castillo was just kind of off from the start, but settled in as well. It's kind of similar to Wu. A little bit, just didn't quite go as deep. But the Blue Jays deserve credit for that too. They are a team that does not strike out. They're putting the ball in play. As you can see, they look like they're having a little bit of trouble with the extra base hits. But they've got some good hitters in that lineup, so they deserve some credit as well. We got to remember too, the other team is out there trying to win ball games also. And sometimes they get you, sometimes they don't, and today they got to Castillo a little bit, but not as much as the Mariners got to, was it Lucas that was throwing for is not as much as Mariners got to Lucas. So, hey, that's how you win a baseball game. But bullpen did a nice job. Nice bounce back series from the bullpen after a little bit of a tough one in Cincinnati. Let's move on to the offense. 12 hits for the Mariners, 8 runs, 2 walks. Now they do strike out 18 times. What did I say last year all the time? I can be okay with the strikeouts if you're scoring 8 runs. This is why I don't get overly concerned with the strikeouts, because the Mariners struck out almost 20 times today, and they still blew the Blue Jays out and scored 8 runs, right? Like, you can still score runs and strike out. Now, do I like it when they're on a historical pace to set the records for strikeouts? Of course not. Is it nice that they have cut down on that a little bit this year? Yes. Put the ball in play, makes the defense make some errors, and good things can happen. I'd prefer they strike out less than 18 times, but I would think they will going forward. But they scored 8 runs. Like, I'm not going to be mad at a team. If the Mariners score 8 runs every game, we'll be having a lot of very positive post-game recaps for sure. And also, Schultz, what's his first name, the pitcher for the Blue Jays? Paxton Schultz. He was good. I mean, I don't know what the Blue Jays rotation is going to look like, but man, I would give that guy a shot. He threw the ball well. He carved up the team. 8 of the strikeouts were for him. He came on in relief, 4 1/3, 2 hits, no runs, no walks, and 8 strikeouts. Sometimes you do tip your cap. And Schultz and the Mariners offense has been good enough that I will tip my cap. Now, last year, you get frustrated. You're not scoring a lot of runs. I'm done tipping the cap. It's the Mariners offense. They stink. This year, they've been better so far. I'll tip my cap to Schultz. He came in and threw the ball well, dominated. Hopefully, the Blue Jays give him a look in the rotation. I would think they would, because he looked, and it wasn't just like, oh man, what are the Mariners doing? He looked really good. So that's a part of that too. Is just looks like and I think that was his major league debut. So kudos to him. But let's get into Mariners box score here. Dylan Moore, 2 for 5, leads off with a home run. Already his 5th home run of the year. It's pretty wild that Dylan Moore has 5 home runs. I think the Blue Jays have like 12 as a team. Dylan Moore almost has half as many home runs as the Blue Jays did. But Dylan Moore really coming in clutch. Remember last year when he filled in for JP when he missed time? He did a nice job. Now he's kind of filling in for Bliss and Victor Robles a little bit. For Victor taking that leadoff spot, Bliss playing a little more second for Bliss. And Dylan Moore is really doing a nice job for the team and continuing to swing a good bat and showing his versatility and skill set as a good player. Julio goes 1 for 4, 2 runs scored and a walk. Julio with a double and a walk. Nice game from Julio there. Cal 1 for 5, 2 RBIs. Again, Cal just getting 1 hit, but he's making it count, right? He hits his 9th home run of the year. I believe that ties him with Soderstrom, unless Soderstrom got one today, for the American League lead. I mean, Cal's just on a tear. What is this now? 7 home runs in his last 8 games or 9 games or something like that. I mean, Cal's just absolutely dialed in right now. And I'll continue to pound the table. I'm sure there'll be a cold streak at some point, cool off a little bit. But Cal Raleigh, American League MVP, make it happen. Hey, when the Mariners win, we're going to be optimistic all around. Randy Arozarena, 1 for 5, 2 RBIs. What do I say? If you're going to get 1 hit, make it count. Randy did his with the bases loaded. I thought that was actually a really critical at-bat by Randy. The Jays were down 3-0. The Mariners had first and second, nobody out, top of the second. Then they had bases loaded, 1 out. Cal struck out. And then it looked like the Jays were going to get out of that 3-0. And the way they performed offensively, that they might have won that game if Randy doesn't come through there. And then Garver followed up with a hit to make it 6-0. So really, I thought a crucial at-bat there by Randy to make sure the Mariners got something out of that inning and not give the Blue Jays, a little bit of life there if Lucas could have gotten out of that. Now, the only positive would have been maybe Lucas stays in and you don't have to face Paxton Schultz. That would have been nice. But no, you got out on while you have it. So I thought that was a really critical at-bat there by Randy. Nice game for Mitch Garver. 2 for 5, couple singles, one of them for an RBI. I know one of the singles was a bloop popped up. But when guys are scuffling the way Garver, Solano were scuffling, I'm not trying to praise them. Say, oh, hey, Garver was great today. Get off his back. He's still scuffling. He needs to be better. But he knocked in a couple hits today. He batted 400 today. He reached base to a 400 OBP today. Take the little victories when guys are struggling, because maybe that gets them going. Maybe it just gives Garver enough confidence for the next time out, which is probably going to be against Garrett Crochet. That's going to be tough. Maybe he can get something going. Donovan Solano, 1 for 3. Is that special? No. But it's a hit. It's a guy that's been scuffling. Same thing I said for Garver. Maybe that gets Solano going a little bit. Big Rowdy Tellez, 1 for 2 with a pinch hit 2-run home run. Did strike out against a lefty in his second at-bat, but Rowdy is on a tear. This team in general, right? They're going to be streaky. They will, because they've got streaky players. Julio, Cal, Randy, Rowdy. These are all guys that, man, when they're dialed in, this is a really dangerous offense. When they're not, it's going to be susceptible to some tough games. But Rowdy is locked in right now. Homers in all 3 games. Another one that was just absolutely crushed. I continue to be impressed by his defense at first base. I think he's been pretty solid there. Kudos to Rowdy, man. Good to see. And he's an easy guy to root for. A couple people commented that yesterday in the video, and I agree 100%. Just a really easy guy to root for. I want him to be a part of this team. I want to see a Rowdy bomb in September that wins a game to get this team closer to a playoff spot or something like that. So, and I love his little home run trot, man. He can grip them and rip them for sure. So hopefully it keeps rolling into Fenway Park for him. Luke Raley 1 for 3. Ben Williamson was 0 for 3, but did score a run and had a walk. I think, again, Williamson has reached base in every game he's played. The 641 OPS and 217 batting average aren't amazing, but I have still maintained I've been very impressed with Ben Williamson, and I really think he's helped this roster out tremendously, and I think it's stabilized some positions. Another thing I didn't talk about in this offense is you're missing Jorge Polanco against left-handed pitching. That's pretty big, right? He's been really good, and I think he's actually, this might just be batting average wise, but I think he's been a better hitter right-handed in his career. I think more power left-handed, but better average right-handed. So it's not like he's a slouch against lefties either. So, and that'll help give Cal a day off too, because Polanco can DH and Garver can catch in some of those games. So hopefully Polanco will be back out there soon, as well to help this offense. And then Leo Rivas started at second today. Dylan Moore's at short. JP got the day off. And Rivas went 2 for 4. I thought Rivas was a nice little utility player last year. Nothing that blows you away, but decent at defense and enough with the bat to, you can start him a couple times a week and you're fine. And nice game. He had a great walk yesterday, which helped the rally, and 2 more hits today. Rivas, good little player, continue to do his thing. They've got nice contributions from Rivas and guys like Miles Mastroboni as well off the bench. So, the Mariners will head out to Boston now. I don't want to say it's all gravy, right? Like Boston's another, I talked about Toronto, right? You're now one up on them if there's a tiebreaker. Boston's another team that could be in the wild card mix or seeding mix potentially. So you don't want to go there and lose all 3 and kill the momentum of this road trip. And I'm never going to sit here and say, I hope they just get 1. But if you do get 1, it's a 5-4 road trip. And that's something I would have signed up for ahead of this road trip. If you would have told me, Jay, 5-4, do you take it? Sign the dotted line, give it to me. So, no matter what, if they can find a way to win just 1 in Boston, I'll be happy with the road trip. Doesn't mean I wouldn't be disappointed in the series loss. But, it would still be a successful trip, and you get back home 500 for a short little 5-game homestand with the Marlins and the Angels. Also, a little, hopefully a little boost for the Mariners is the Red Sox have to play tomorrow. They have the Boston Marathon game, the early game against the White Sox. So, and I think their bullpen's already a little taxed. Brian Bayo will make his season debut Tuesday. You figure he's probably not going to go very deep into the game. So, I don't really care what the result of the game is tomorrow. I guess I'd prefer the White Sox win because Boston could be a playoff team and the White Sox aren't. But, hopefully the Red Sox have to use a lot of pitchers. It's a long game. Their bullpen's taxed. I was kind of frustrated because the Blue Jays had a day off before Friday and the Mariners had to play. I was like, man, it's going to be a tough Friday game. Hopefully the Mariners can kind of flip that and get that advantage on Tuesday with maybe a tired Red Sox team. And the Mariners, fresh off a day off, can go in there and get a W. If you can win game 1, man, feels really good. Then you just feel like, hey, get 1 more, get the series. So, hey, let's be greedy, right? Let's try to win this series and finish this road trip 6-3 and come back home and get the fans feeling pretty good about this team. But yeah, this is about as good about, boy, at the end, I always seem to butcher what I'm trying to say. I feel good about this team. That's all I'm trying to say. I do. I'm locked in. I'm locked into the Mariners right now. Or locked on. Go to sub to Ty and Colby as well. So, as always, like, comment, subscribe. And I completely lost my train of thought. Happy Easter and go Mariners. Take care, everybody. Have a great night. Peace.